All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm half of those, so.
Oh yeah, so Duck Life. It's a game where you get money and you beat ducks and save a farm or something.
So
Okay.
basically, if you want to go into the actual plot of the game, you're this farmer, right? And then all of a sudden, there's a tornado. So your whole farm is dead except for this one duck egg. And you're gonna train that duck instead of like selling it for food or something. You're gonna train it to be a racing duck, and
Wow.
this racing duck is gonna get you enough money to save the farm.
Yeah, you have
Wow.
other ducks in races to save your farm, basically, and get the $200,000 cash prize that wealthy.
You don't
duck-
actually get it. You actually don't get the 200,000 cash prize. It just doesn't
No,
give it.
Do in Duck Life too. In Duck
That's
Life
because-
2, they actually give
It
you the
does
money.
in Duck Life too, but in Duck Life 1, no, it doesn't want to. It doesn't
Yeah.
like you.
No, it's because in Duck Life 1, it's going to your farm. Come on, guys.
What? You can't get it?
I never thought of it that way. Think of big brain.
So
I got
yes,
pinged.
basically,
Wait.
It's just really. Shag and I are gonna be here for the long term, and then we're gonna have the rest come into the chat as they're doing their race. So we're gonna have people switching in and out. Play as 2, 3, and space go on, and Shag and I are just gonna be here and talk about each of the games individually. So
Yeah. We'll give little
Yeah.
pieces of tidbits and information. And just kill the silence.
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
skips,
All those
routes,
spicy memes.
glitches. Glitches in the no glitch run. What am I talking about?
Hey, it's no major glitches, so technically
Major
there are some
glitches,
glitches.
yes.
Alright. Yeah, that would be really
Alright.
nice.
Let's do this.
Whew.
All right.
All right, so this is the first minigame, and as you can see, it is press up to win.
Blue, you're losing
Basically.
already because I cannot jump over boulders. I literally died to the second boulder.
Let's go.
That's a
Red-
good start.
Let it be known, red team was winning at some point.
Face, your mouse is on the screen. Ah!
If everybody in chat just donates $100, we can get this tutorial done.
Just $100.
Just the casual 100. Come on, guys, we can do it.
Just a small loan of $100.
Oh yeah, we should explain running. You need 24,000 points. Then you do good.
Mhm.
If you don't get 24,000 points, you're bad.
So, like, I just died. That actually loses a ton of time, but it's really hard to get a one cycle. So, and Kyra
Generally,
already
you want to
died,
go
so-
for a one
Yeah,
cycle.
but if I get 24,000, then that's still a one cycle.
Mhm. And also, hitboxes are really weird in this game, and the duck jumps way higher than normal, so it's hard to judge everything.
It's that in Duck Life 2, but in Duck Life 1, you sort of have moon jumping, which can sort of hinder you when another.
All right,
rock
I
is
just got
about to come out.
20,000, so I need 3,000.
You got 20,000. I got like 10.
This game
Rip
as well, you
you.
gotta think.
Okay, let me just kill myself here, you know?
Mm.
Oh wait, I need one more. There we go, I did it. Alright, let's go into the Green Valley real quick.
Great. And now I'm dead. So if you guys want to talk about the importance of Super Seed and the races route, that'd be probably a good time now.
So, this game and no other Duck Life game has something called Super Seed, where you can buy it instead of regular seed, and instead of just training your energy, it trains every skill that you have, meaning that you don't really have to do all the training. You can eat the seed to basically artificially make. So if your flying is level 10 instead of level 0, it's automatically faster than if it's just at 0.
Like the biggest point of getting that is the slowest minigame to do from 0 is flying. Which you'll notice later on the run, we don't touch flying until nearly the end of the run, because you want to get into flying at around 40 levels, which over time, as eating the skill seed, you will get to that point when you enter flying. Because back when the game first was being speedran, you used to just do the mini games, max out your skills, and then do the races. And then
And
we
that
found out
category is now known as no skill seed.
Mhm.
And then we found that that's a dumb way to play. So getting the skill seeds, whenever you enter a minigame, the higher level you are, the faster the minigame score rate will go. So even doing the swimming, like we eat the seed from running in the first race, and then we do swimming so we start at 7 levels instead of 0, which makes the game just go a little bit faster.
All right, in a little bit, we're both gonna need some concentration because swimming gets kind of intense a little bit. It goes like
Yeah.
super fast.
Swimming is super easy until you get to like 25,000, and our goal is 40,000.
Yeah, so we need to concentrate for a long time.
And there's also
Not to
some
mention-
glitchy things. Yeah.
Yes, at 25,000, the game starts to sort of break and doesn't really know where your hitbox is, and it can kind of break the hit detection, and it will start flinging you into everything. So you kind of have to hope that that doesn't happen to you.
If
Alright,
if
I'm
you
getting there now.
jump into something, like an iceberg is the perfect thing. You have to jump into something you can jump over, and you like clip into it a little bit, and the game gets confused and just flings you straight into the air.
All right, I'm at 26,000 now, so be quiet, please.
Alright, I'm there too almost. Like that right there. And sometimes it'll bring heck, I just went down instead of up.
Yeah, same, dude. I literally made the exact same mistake.
I tried to press up, but apparently I pressed down.
I got
So this is
31,000
losing a bunch
now.
of time, but it's okay.
I'm
I got
actually
like
not.
I got like 26.
Oh,
yeah.
so I'm still ahead of you. I just need 9,000.
Yeah.
Probably a bit
The
less.
main thing to do during swimming is not think about whether you should go up or down, because then you start second guessing yourself. And
Yeah.
unlike in running, you'd want to be reactive instead of proactive, because
Yeah,
you
anyway,
could go
we're done
up
with
and it
swimming.
goes down. I'm not done with swimming
You're
yet,
done
so
with
that
swimming?
man.
Well done.
It really shows how hard it is to get an optimal time in this game, because not only do you need to get one cycle in running, which is completely luck-based, you now also have to do this one cycle in swimming.
Oh, I got way too
Which
much
is
swimming levels.
About
That's also the wrong
50%
level.
luck and 50%
Also, we have a
skill.
donation.
All right.
Yay.
Okay.
We have $1 from Saw3, and they say, FAQless is my dad. I love you, Dad. Good luck.
Thanks, Sor. That better have been going towards the Splatoon incentive, which we
Yes,
need to
please.
get.
Oh, I
Yeah,
want that
Which is-
Splatoon
bad.
dance pad. You should donate for it. Okay.
Oh, man.
Be good.
Oh
Whoa.
my god!
Holy moly!
No!
Yes.
Yo, let's
Yeah.
go!
Thank you so much, Nero. You're the best.
Yo, you're the best.
That's amazing.
So, Splatoon dance pad is met, yeah?
hmm
Wow.
Nice.
So our plans to totally plug Splatoon at any point is now flawed because it's already met.
Oh, hey, you can open that bongo incentive now. Okay, running two
So
is
Duck Life-
it's pretty trash.
Duck Life with the dance pad is a bit tricky, though.
And so in the route, we enter running 2, like we said earlier, minigames are faster the higher level you are. So we don't just do it all in one big take because of that. We split up the minigames so we can take advantage of having a higher level to make the game go faster.
Basically,
course,
what we
getting-
want to do. Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
say
can go
basically
on.
what we want to do is.
I don't
buy
know. Okay, I'm at 101. Okay. No,
the
dude.
minimum we can, and then the money from that race we use the skill seed, get to the minimum to do another race, and so on and so on. We're basically just trying to edge our way into races so that we can just beat them and cheese the level up system.
hmm
All right, that's running two.
But
Dude, can you win, please? Thank you.
did you
Okay,
lose
I
through
won.
one?
won by like a pixel with 114. This route is trash.
Oh, I might lose. No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, so in this one, we're going into one race and then eating the seed because the next race we're going into, we can't just beat outright. We have to eat
Dude,
the
this
seed to go
seed.
into that one. Yeah.
The sea just like went 10 miles away from me and really hates me.
Nice.
Dude, this
Yeah.
green duck is better than me. What is this trash? Get out of here. Stupid green
Wait,
duck.
did you just lose at 3-3?
No, I won, but I was
Okay.
gonna lose.
Yeah, we go into these so with just enough levels to get in. These third levels in the routes that we're using, you can lose. It's really
Very
bad.
close.
Oh, bad. By the way, the teams are reversed. Team blue is on the right, and team red is on the left.
Hmm.
So it says team red is on the right. Can you like fix that, please?
Oh, on the stream.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the stream. Because Face's game is on the left.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that.
Alright, so in that one there, we get just enough flying levels to go through the hole, because that level, it actually doesn't matter how much flying you have, you still have to go through that hole. So that's a good way to just get more seed before we get into the flying levels.
And now we're at flying. So flying works. How flying works is 20,000 and then 30,000. I actually don't know why that's how it works. Maybe Check or Glitch can explain it.
Yeah. Basically, in this, I don't know why 20,000, 30,000 is fastest, but for this one, I don't do 20,000, 30,000. Every 5,000 levels is equivalent to one level. So we just stop at intervals of 5,000 to get that many levels and keep going.
The fastest way to do it that we've known so far is going from 20,000 to 3,000 or 30,000, or going from 25 to 25. And the point of that is just so, like I said earlier, is the mini game gets faster the higher level you are. And your duck in this minigame slows down the further you go in, so you don't want to stay in too long. So you want to constantly keep resetting the minigame, so it gives you that level boost of speed, so you can get through this faster and faster each time.
Yeah, so
It pretty much is like an actual cannon. Like when you get shot out of
yeah,
his
and in
fire,
this you might notice that
fast.
Kyrat is probably done with it already. I'm actually doing a different route that I found yesterday during school, that instead of going to 85 fly, I go to 90, and then I get this route out of the way first. I'm pretty sure it's faster, but I guess we'll see. Oh, I died. Okay, so
First time.
I got the
That's not
really...
fast.
I actually got a really
Did you die
unlucky...
over the volcano?
Yeah, I died in 3-4. I actually got really unlucky to where...
Wait, why were you in 3-4?
Yeah, I just
Because he's doing
explained.
the route different. He's doing his own school route.
So I actually got really unlucky to where the running, it like throws me off the volcano further instead of actually making it over. So 90 is the perfect amount unless you have like 144 running, and then it glitches and you can't actually make it. So I just lost some time there. I really thought that wouldn't
Show
happen,
off,
but
though.
yeah.
If you fall in the volcano, you actually get the black colored duck for
Yeah.
free.
Which is
Because
used in
you-
100%.
Which is used in 100%, yeah, which is my
Yeah.
favorite category. I like 100%
Mhm.
more.
Is what determines the.
Yeah,
Um,
Kyrat has.
Oh, the
I
color
think he
can
has
do that.
both of the. I
I
think
used to
Kyrat has
have.
both.
I used
He
to
used to have both of them.
shag
It's like basically
shag and
the
shag
feature,
me.
like, gives you guys
Yep.
points.
Yeah.
Reason you won.
I doubt it will.
Yeah.
You know, because they must have swapped the stream size. That must be why it took Pirate so long to get set up. Because he runs it from a website instead of a tablet.
Oh damn!
Oh, and they changed the name to Team Old Boys.
I put my vote into Donkey Kong. That would have made it easy. Huh.
Yeah, glitch with the $1 donation.
My dollar vote went to the wrong one.
Yeah, I didn't get this whole.
So I found recently that 149 flying is actually okay.
To be honest.
Yeah, there's a
I-
list
yeah.
that I wrote up that has the different like combinations of levels you can get into. And
And
ideally
glitch, I'm in the
this
final
route,
levels. Get ready.
ideally in this route, you
I'm
would
staying on my
Because I
stream.
think baseless is like.
race the final guy with 146 energy, or swimming. And with 146 swimming, you can get, if you have 150 everything else, you'll win. And that's the ideal route.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. In the any percent with glitches, which means you can like skip around places with RC, which is really weird. You can actually beat the champion if you have 150 in everything and you have 10 flying. It's
Yeah,
really
Yeah,
that
you
was
weird.
fun
can
when we
do
found
that.
that out.
Mhm.
L2, F2. Is this how old I am?
Should we give Lear a shout out during Tron?
Well, obviously you can't do that in this race because you can't get to the champion without 10
I
flying.
didn't know, just because it seems like he doesn't want to be
Mhm.
so
Alright, I'm entering the final race now. Glitch, get ready.
Yep. Let me know when you're done, and I will start straight off.
All right.
Yeah, I'm entering. Get Nico ready because I'm about to enter champ.
And the champ race
Oh, I
takes about
can't.
20
I'm ready.
seconds.
Yeah, I'm getting mid 13.
Alright, is Nico ready? Someone tell Eddie.
I'm ready. I'm on the menu button.
So time
Wait, dude,
happens
how
as
is this
soon
guy
as
gonna-
we cross the finish line.
Done, go!
There's this pool of water and then the finish line. Time ends as soon as we cross the finish line for Duck Life
Okay.
1.
Am I going now?
Yeah, you're
And
supposed
go,
to go.
Nico.
I said go.
Okay.
All right. 13,
Alright, is
22.
Nico going?
13-19 for me.
All right. Sweet.
I don't have my splits up, so.
I got a
this is good.
13:27.
All right, just go, Glitch, go.
Okay. I think Glitch lost a little bit of time, but Face and I are now done, so...
Did lose a little, but don't worry, I'll get it
See
back.
if-
Alright, if you beat Kyrie, you edge me out by like 9 seconds. And good luck to all the other runners.
Yeah, good luck. DL2 runners, DL3 runners, and DL space runners. Nah, they don't need good luck.
All right. Okay, so this is Duck Life 2.
Basically, the two runners are me and Nick isn't commentating, so it's just gonna be Chegg and I for this one.
Yeah. So
damn it.
the first thing you might notice off the bat is our duck. He's looking pretty rad, I might have to
Yeah.
say. The big gist of
Fashionable
this,
ducks.
yeah. The big thing about this speedrun is we take advantage of this glitch called, or what do we call it? Glitch? Is it the level wall break or whatever?
It's the wall removal glitch, is what I called it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you complete a file, like usually when you play Duck Life 2, you have to get to a certain level and then the game will stop you from leveling up. So like you'll get to 20 and then you can't level up until you beat a certain race. But in this speedrun, if you complete a previous file, you can on the next file you create, it deletes all those level upgrades. So you can just continuously grow your level. Another side effect of this is we can also bring along stuff like sunglasses and changing the background to nighttime, which are just cute little cosmetic things. But more importantly, yeah, is extreme training, which is like the special thing that you can turn on when you complete the game, which just makes all the mini games obnoxiously fast. And you're never intended to use that when you on a fresh file, but luckily for us, you can still, it still works on a fresh file if you bring it over from a previous file, which makes the mini games go obnoxiously fast. Like the record before we found out we could do this was about 25 minutes or so. Now it's about, it can get close to 18 minutes with a good run.
Mini game. That's where it gets just.
Yeah, it gets kind of, it's hard to run.
You have plenty of screen sharing. That's lovely.
Yeah. You'll also notice, at least the running minigame, it's a good amount different than Duck Life 1. Your duck can actually jump like a normal Earthling. So it's a lot harder to dodge.
So you go back into space.
Yeah. So it's a lot harder to get a consistent one cycle. Generally, on a good run, you want to get around low 20 cycles, just because it's not realistic. Yeah. Yeah, on average, it's usually around the upper 30s.
Now, you get to a point in running where it gets so fast that you'll see at the first jump, your duck actually teleports into a fixed position. So you want to jump as soon as it starts because you'll warp right into a boulder if you don't, because the game just decides this is where you are now. Put you right there.
Which again is because the game just isn't meant for you to play on extreme training when you are leveling up. Because you're usually supposed to only play extreme training when you're already at 150, which is the max. Now you might also be wondering, why don't we do like Duck Life 1, where you get to a certain point, then need some skill seed or something? Well, Duck Life 2 and beyond got rid of the whole skill seed idea. So there aren't the special seed in this game just increases your energy. It gives you more energy than your regular seed. So this game is pretty much just mini game after mini game after mini game.
Yep. But at least they go fast. So you got
Yeah.
that going for us.
Yeah. So the run is not as weird compared to casual play, but it's definitely weird seeing the extreme training and everything with that.
We do the same sort of thing where you purposefully drop down after 5k for a few levels, and then you go 10k, 20k, as it goes faster and faster, so you build up more speed.
Mm-hmm. And in this flying, you have to actually dodge things too, so it's an extra level of difficulty, which really isn't difficult at all. It gives you a lot of leeway.
And you can save a few frames every time you fall by holding the space button instead of spamming it, because we'll just fly through all the menus.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was someone else. I'm not taking credit for that.
Yeah, I don't know who found the buffer. I think it was a guy named Leary, who
Leary. It's always either you or Leary that finds the cool stuff. I find the useless things that...
yeah, Leary is a runner of most of the games, and he's kind of taking a hiatus right now. But I don't know. Shout outs to
his name
Leary.
at the top of all the leaderboards.
Yeah. Leary currently holds the record for Duck Life 1, the category you just saw. He holds that with a 12:27. I think.
Mind if I pop in and plug the next incentive?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So the next one that we have to hit is the bongo drum incentive for DK King of Swing. So they're gonna play the game with the bongo drum, and all we need is $50 for that one. So donate whatever you like, whatever you can, and you can see a game played with a literal drum.
What was that again? Oh, I'm terrible at maths.
Yeah, a big thing about Duck Life, especially for like flying and stuff, is keeping track of how many levels you need and how many levels you have. Which is funny because most people who at least speedrun Duck Life right now learned about it on coolmap.com. And when you play
We just
it
got another
there...
donation.
All right, go ahead.
From Swords, $1. He says, okay, Nico, I don't know about you that well, but you're a red boy, so you're good. Also, Glitch, you is a good boy, but you're a blue boy, so that's not good. Last thing for this donation, if you guys set a world record, then I'll donate $20 tomorrow. Good luck.
All right, sweet.
Thank
And
you.
Get the record.
I think it's like a low-key diss, but I'll take it.
Yeah, not sure about that one, eh?
Okay, so the game's starting to break apart for me now that I've gotten to a point where...
Yeah, what's going on there?
Mhm.
That's all I know.
Yeah, well, the extreme training gets kind of crazy after certain points. Flying actually is probably... Yeah.
Yep.
Flying is probably actually the easiest part of the run to manage, because in running, of course, that's mostly luck-based. And in swimming, you'll see why that's a mess. But in flying, you can at least control most of the variables that go on, especially when it gets fast. So this is kind of like the breathing point of the run for people trying to get a good time.
I split key, and then I keep forgetting that I don't actually have splits open.
Oh yeah.
Memory. It's just hit the key.
Alright, swimming. Now, for swimming, you want to, especially in Duck Life 2, you want to get as high of a score as you can the first time. Not just for for speed, but also because after that, the minigame gets ridiculously fast. And
Either
to the
while you
point
can,
where...
because...
Yeah, to the point where you can't really control much. So getting around 40,000 in the first cycle of swimming is optimal, which will set you around 80.
I want to get around 20. Start, which I'm thankful for, but
The run's going well so far.
I'm surprised at how well my running did. I don't have the time, but I feel like if I did, I would just be more nervous, so I'm kind of glad I don't have it.
Yeah, I think from what I saw, the running looked pretty solid. When I was running this game, I would keep track of how many run cycles I did, because it's hard to keep track of scores. So I know if I had like 20 run cycles, I'm usually fine.
1, 2, 3. Oh god, I suck. 4, 5, 6. K mark though, so you know,
Yeah.
small victories. It's around 35, I would say, right?
Around 35 for like having a good level.
Like just for when the level starts to break apart again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because 35 will put you at like 70 levels.
Okay, so oh, there we go. I've jumped over that. Okay, here we go. It's done. It's all started now. Oh god! I did not see that iceberg.
Yeah, that's oof.
Trees. Oh, yep. This is where it gets great.
Yeah, you'll just see the duck fly everywhere, and it's basically just luck of the draw if you're gonna press up or down, and it'll be correct. But yeah, Glitch got
To a point where
82
half
in
of the thing.
Yeah, and Glitch got 82 in his first cycle, which is actually really good. Because like I said, you want to get a solid. I mean, ideally, you'd one cycle the entire thing, but that just isn't realistic.
Get to 115, you can kind of just walk through the first obstacle. It's not there anymore because the hitbox goes by too quickly.
Yeah, you're going so fast, the game can't really keep track of yourself.
I broke, but I'll take it. Oh wait, I have 150. No, stop! I can't stop him now. He's going too fast.
That's the worst. Yeah, we didn't really mention it during the first game, but there is a way for the duck to get stuck out of bounds in both this swimming and in Duck Life 1, which is used actually in the glitched categories, for Duck Life 1 at least, because then you can exit the minigame using a whole nother slew of tricks that we can't really get into that much here, because this is no major glitches. But if you got stuck in it in this game, like in this run, this relay, then the only real thing we could legally do without doing a glitch would be to close the game and reopen it, which is not ideal.
Also, we have a couple more donations.
All right.
So we have $1 from Jag. Jag says Saw gave me 11 cents to donate this, Lamau. And a $5 from me because I want that bongo controller run.
All right. Man, that's pretty exciting stuff. So right now in climbing, this minigame actually has to do with one of the bigger skips of Duck Life 2. So in Duck Life, usually when you do the races, this was kind of touched upon in Duck Life 1, you want to get max skills for everything, so 150, 149, whatever. But in this game, we found about 2 years ago that you can actually beat the champion with only around 85 climbing levels. And I don't know why I was testing it at the time, but it was quite the shock.
I think we're trying to see how much overall we could get away with. We were testing like 143 with everything, 144 with everything, and then we just thought, what if we just neglect the thing that we do the least, which was climbing?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that. And it turns out quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because climbing really is not a useful skill in comparison to the other ones. It's very, like you'll see in the races, that it's not even in most of the races to climb up the wall. So the skill's not used that much. In the champion race,
one wall, that's it.
Yeah. And our skills are high enough and everything else that by the end of the race we get to catch up to him. Now it is kind of nerve-wracking because the higher level runs get around 82, which makes it a lot more likely that you'll actually lose the champion race, which is, of course, a run-ending mistake.
Save strats of getting a bit more.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, climbing is also probably the most normal minigame in this race, or in this run, because you don't really get to see the extreme training effects. really take place like in swimming, because we bail out at around 85. But
Climbing
yeah,
as well
getting-
does get to the point where things don't matter anymore and hit detection just doesn't exist.
Yeah, sometimes the duck will like fly through the wall when you go through, or which will end the minigame, unfortunately. There's all kinds of weird things, even in normal gameplay. But looks like both runners are doing pretty well. Getting around 5,000 to 7,000 in one go is very nice.
The safe strats and went 86. I'm not taking the risk.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay, so the duck is a little overpowered compared to the other competitors.
Yeah, because in this run, like you're seeing, we do all the races at the end. So the stuff you're supposed to do at like level 10 or whatever, yeah, no, we don't do that. You're just gonna see the duck fly through the places.
Pretty much, yeah, starting off Pokemon with a level 100 Pokemon,
Pretty
and
bad.
then just going through like all the wicked like
Mhm.
gyms.
Which is also where the glitched categories save a lot of time too, because in those categories you can end each race after you cross the finish line, so you don't have to wait for the time to clock out or the other racers to finish, which saves like 10 seconds every race.
Let's time out. or
I
else
love
we're
that little
sitting here for
janky
a long
leg when
time.
they're climbing.
What was that?
Yeah.
That little single janky leg as they vertically climb. It's just
Oh
what-
yeah.
The animations are something else. I think at one point the duck's beak is gonna fall off for a second.
What?
That's always fun.
Yeah, that's great.
I want to get that looked
And
at.
yeah, and one of my favorite parts too about wearing the sunglasses is that all the other ducks wear sunglasses too.
All right.
Decided to join in on the
Yeah.
fashion trend.
Hmm. Which is why we like to call this category rad %.
Hey.
'Cause they're all pretty rad.
They're all
So yeah, this part of the run is just a lot of menuing, which is
tab
Hard.
here to sort of keyboard their way through, but I like using a mouse. It's just a lot more control.
yeah. The thing with the tab key in this game, it's allowed as long as you don't go out of bounds with it. Because when you hit tab, usually a yellow little box will appear over like the menu button or something. And if you hit space, it'll act like you clicked it. But funnily enough, if you tab and then move it with the arrow keys, like the yellow box on the main screen, the dev, Mr. Simon Wixon, left a automatic level up button outside the out of bounds area. So you can actually tab over to that and just hold down the space bar and you get 150 levels basically automatically. Which is why the glitched. Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Ooh. Only $7. We can do it.
Yep.
I might
Should
just
be
do it.
easy.
Yeah.
Wrong. Forgot how short Hawaii 2 is. It's not even 5-second race. It's just over the volcano. You're done.
Yeah, Hawaii is definitely the shortest part of the races. Which is hard because that's when you start getting nervous if you're on a good run or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the level where his beak. Oh no, his beak stayed intact. It's
Ah.
Alright, so the Duck Life 3 runners should actually start getting ready at this point. Because the final champ race, the champ race at the end is about 40 seconds long. So it's a little longer than Duck Life 1, but it's still not that much long to get ready. And you basically do the champ race twice. It's the same exact area, you're just not racing the champ.
So you saw a little cameo duck there, another little cameo duck there.
Yeah, funnily enough, Glitch can actually talk about this more than I can, but those things on the billboards supposedly translate to different weird things. And of course, there's
Yeah.
things like the gap or whatever. I don't know that much about the translations. Obviously, McDuckles or whatever, I know that. But I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, glitched.
Hello.
Very limited
Yeah. Oh,
experience
hi,
in
Joe.
Japanese. The last line
So
just says
the sign Glitz just went past says, "Oh, you speak Japanese?" Question mark.
Ah.
And then the first one in the next race, I believe, says, "I love duck life." But I could be wrong. It's been a few years since I've translated them.
Yeah, so just cute little Easter egg
Yeah,
kind of
very
things.
So as you can see, the champion's beating me, but it's going to slip up in the next one here. He sort of does this weird down, and that's where we catch up. Oh god, have I caught up enough? Yes, I have.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, this
Okay.
race looks super scary, but as long
It
as you're
does.
above 85, you're fine.
And that was 2, and I didn't drop that many frames. Hallelujah.
All right.
I can
good
go?
stuff. Yep.
Cool.
And once Nico finishes. All right.
Oh well, that's the wrong training. So we're off to a good start here.
All right. Hello, Joe.
Hello. So we're off to a good start. I've accidentally gone into flying instead of running. Luckily, in a marathon, it's not as important as trying to grind the time low.
Now, Duck Life 3 actually takes a big jump in kind of the quality of the mini games. It improves almost every single one of them. And the first thing you'll really see is, I mean, you saw earlier, there's a tennis ball that most of the time you're supposed to dodge by not jumping. Sometimes you have to, but the biggest thing is you can bounce on the blocks like you saw there, which is a huge benefit to the minigame. Because earlier, if you just touched the rocks at all,
by the way,
you're
Nick
done.
just finished. His stream's lagging, but he finished.
Okay.
Alright, get the next one in.
Okay, I'm here now.
Yeah, I don't think we're that far ahead because he had stream delay on.
Yeah. So did you mention the fact,
Okay, I
I
just
didn't really hear,
started.
did you mention the fact that you actually jumped on, you can jump on the boulders in this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, you can bounce on them instead of immediately die, like the other games.
Yeah,
So it
honestly,
makes- Yeah, go ahead.
that's probably the best improvement of this game. Just the fact that you could jump on them and not die.
Hmm.
I was
It
in
really
such a
does make
hurry.
it a lot less stressful.
I was in such a hurry, I forgot to unmute the game audio. Which is
I just messed up immediately, so it's okay.
Oh, so did
Didn't
I.
give
I
you
went
much
into
time.
flying. And...
My first
Yeah.
run was 4,000.
Yeah, usually in the route you want to get around 37,000 points or 36, because in this game, each 1,000 points is one level, as opposed to earlier games where it was 500 points a level. Which it's possible to do in one cycle, but it's really difficult. It's a lot less luck-based than the other games. But as you'll see, there will be opportunity or times where the balls fly at angles that you just cannot dodge, which is unfortunate, but it's how the game is.
It's very RNG.
It's not as bad as the first two, but it's still heavily RNG based.
Yeah.
That time it didn't. What? That took a lot longer to die than it should have done.
So something else you're going to notice in this first run game is there's these yellow things that are kind of bouncing up and down that are probably tennis balls. Those are going to be really annoying later on in later games. Well, one later game,
Oh
but
yeah,
still.
Yeah, a question we normally get asked in flying is why don't you just go forever? But your points actually start going up slower the longer you're in flying. I don't know if you've explained this already. I've had to keep the stream muted.
Yeah, we've
That's fine,
explained in
go
like
ahead.
later games that the longer you stay in there, the less points you get, and eventually you'll stop gaining points. If that's what you're asking.
Adds, this one adds a miles per hour at the top, which you can actually check. Oh, you can go, okay, I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
reset. And another thing that this other two didn't are these purple coins. If you collect these, you go up another 2 miles per hour. So, in theory, you could keep collecting these and not have to die, but getting to them is really luck based. You don't have enough time to react to see them coming. So, if you get one, it's great. If you don't get one,
There is one that's like a permanent spawn right at the start every time. But beyond that, yeah, it is pure RNG. I just gold split that flying, by the way.
You know, nice.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
I want to find like a good time to unmute. There we go. Get some game audio going for the people.
so climbing 1 and Duck Life 3 is pretty much the same as Duck Life 1 and 2. They pretty much did copy paste, made the textures a little nicer and less rough. Change anything until further on in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of what the start of Duck Life 3 is Duck Life 2 with a little more polish.
Yeah, compared to the first 2 games, this game definitely had a lot more things going for it, and like a polished and kind of clean thing. As you'll see,
The animation, the textures, pretty much everything got a sort of HD revival, and then its own thing about a third of the way through.
Exactly a third of the way through.
Actually, a third of the way through, but it's faster than Baby, so around.
And it also has the best final boss of any game in the series.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the final boss is something else.
By the way, so I should ask, what order are you doing your games in, Joe?
So I go running, flying, climbing, swimming.
Okay, so I'm doing running, swimming, flying, climbing, except I accidentally went into fly, so I did fly before swim.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing our games in a different order.
That's just gonna make it more interesting.
Yeah, I always probably
reach the end.
I'm probably doing it in a slower way, but at the same time, I guess maybe it's a little more interesting to see, like.
Yeah, I mean, in general, the order of the minigames don't really. Yeah, the order you choose the minigames to go in don't matter that much, because they don't affect each other.
Yeah, the only reason I do them in this order. Yeah, I think the reason mine are in this order is because it's the just the most annoying to grind order.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to grind down the time, you don't want to get through too many games and then get to the hard one.
Yeah, generally the first game in any Duck Life game you want to get through is the running. That's always the luck one. Just the hardest one to get a run out of.
We do need to collect 80 coins as well. But we normally do just get 18 coins by playing the game.
Yeah, usually you don't need to go out of your way to...
Pretty much.
I go out my way anyway, just to, like, when I'm on slow speeds, just to give me something to do.
Yeah.
Flying, you pretty much run into them instantly. You need to grind anywhere else.
Get the most of your coins during flying, because they just appear in front of you.
It's so fast that you just pretty much slam straight into them.
I would love to one-cycle this, but I've just got the feeling I'm gonna dive at an iceberg like I always do.
Yeah, I in my swim, my first attempt, I glitched a little bit into a wall and couldn't get through.
Yeah, that'll happen where things you just cannot control with the swimming.
Yeah.
We recently had a route change where we do more swimming in here. I don't know if either runner's going to do that, where they try to get 50.
I don't get 50 here, but
yeah,
I do go longer in 2.
Yeah.
I'm getting 50 here and I'm doing long too.
Okay.
go as long as you can if you can.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
like kill myself at 40, but
Yeah,
well,
generally
putting it
the rule of thumb is just to stay in the minigame as long as you can. Right. And unfortunately, like Life 2, this game just has boring supersede that doesn't increase any skill.
Okay, so these those smaller numbers next to the duck's levels. I don't know if this was explained. If it was, I apologize.
No, it wasn't.
Did we explain?
Yeah, you can
So,
explain it.
in this game, 4 different duck types. You have the one that's you have strength, swimming, flying. Each one of them have pluses and weaknesses for each thing. Flying, climbing, swimming, and whatnot. Basically, we choose. We choose, right? Not strength.
Yeah, we choose athletic.
Athletic, okay. Because that's the duck that is the fastest.
For humans.
real time.
Yeah, there's a theoretical route for the strength duck that is around 20 seconds faster, but that would involve getting 50,000 points in running one cycle. And it loses time if you don't get one cycle. Like it loses time to the other route. So it's faster, but not realistic. And no one's done a run with it.
The swimming and flying ducks are just a nightmare. You pretty much have to max out their levels throughout the whole thing just to keep them slightly ahead of the competition. And I don't know if it's swimming or fly duck, but there's one where even if you have all the levels maxed, you still have a chance of losing one of the races. So it's just.
Yeah, I think that's flying. Yeah.
Also, we have another donation.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So we have $1 from Saw, and they say, okay, so this is the last dollar I got, so take it. Now, this is my request. I want all the red boys to yell A, so that the blue boys get distracted and mess up. Don't lose, blue boys are the worst boys. Now for a message to Glitch. You need to be a red boy. That's all, folks. Good night.
See, the thing
Starting
is-
to think. Slightly biased.
Just a little.
A little bit.
I'm not sure. We may need to
Might-
investigate further.
So at some point during this run, I need to yell A. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, do it during the last race.
A.
So my duck now has beefy legs, and the
Oh,
minigame's changed slightly, where I now go through obstacles instead of around.
And you get shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So now now the duck looks like that, and that's
Okay, so I just forgot to eat energy, which is a stupid mistake that loses quite a bit of time. And that only happened because I'm not smart and wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it is kind of easy to forget about the energy because it's just it's not a mini game or anything.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot when you're playing this game, like you're just so focused on going right to the races that you kind of forget to do it. And super embarrassing when you forget to do it, but it happens sometimes.
In all of my Duck Life 1 splits, I have like a marker, just like, hey, remember to eat the seed.
Yeah. But we still got a lot of run left, so anything could happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this flying is the same idea as the last one. It just goes a little bit faster. Generally, you don't want to. You're not gonna hit every single purple ball because it just goes way too fast. So you just kind of just play it normally. There's nothing really special you do. But go ahead. John.
ironically this one. When you go to the next stage, it gets slower again. So there you go.
It's the same with swimming, and maybe, well, running gets faster, but it takes longer to get levels as well.
If that makes sense.
There's a lot more points to get one level.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
this
that is
second
not a
running.
good tennis ball.
Yeah, the second running's probably the hardest one, at least in my opinion, because especially at the tennis balls, sometimes it gets to the point where you don't know if you want to jump or not, and you have to, no matter what you do, the tennis ball will hit you.
Sometimes they're just unavoidable.
But it looks like
Actually,
Joe's doing
really
pretty
good.
well. Yeah, this is actually really good.
Hey! There, I did it.
Holy. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I got 93.
Wow.
That janky leggy. What? That kind of creeps me out actually.
Yeah, the leg's
Yeah, it's kind of
gross.
awkward.
It's not really much of a duck anymore.
Yeah,
No, it's more of like a sentient bowling pin.
Mm-hmm. With an ugly
Oh,
green
yes.
color.
it gets better.
Ah, only $1 left, and then we get the bongos. So we just got a $5 donation from Zachary Parker, and they say red pandas are my favorite animal, always willing to help out. Only $1 more, and we get the bongos. Come on, $1, someone do it.
Yeah, okay, so I just got absolutely wrecked by a tennis ball there.
Oh, yeah. And this climbing minigame, it's
Oh yeah,
definitely
so this
kind of-
happens sometimes.
yeah, definitely things that are
Yeah, so
unavoidable.
sometimes you just die, but the game doesn't actually feel like ending the game, so you just kind of like float dead for a while.
Oh, you got that. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just seeing that now.
Yeah, so you kind of just even if you survive and you keep going, it doesn't count the levels anymore. Levels have stopped, so you're just you are a zombie
It's a
at
script
that point.
waste of
You're a
time.
duck zombie. That's 3 words I didn't think I'd be saying on the stream, but there you go.
Duck on life.
Hey Joe, out of curiosity, how was that running split compared to your PB? Because that was
I
really
don't
good.
know, because I don't have a running split saved on my PB.
Oh, never mind.
I normally split late or early, so it's cleared at the moment. But it was 1 minute 33 seconds. I'm gonna try to.
1 minute 33. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty good. Now it's been a while since I personally ran that way. Yeah, out of the ones in this marathon, this game has been ran the least recently. There was a point where a bunch of us, like almost everyone, was super into the game about a year ago, or 2 years almost. And yeah, ever since then, no one's really touched it.
Yeah, practicing for this marathon was the last time I touched it since like December 2016, so it's been a while.
Which is unfortunate because this is probably the best, at least in playing it, the best Duck Life game to speedrun.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Definitely
Oh.
the Flash one.
Biased.
Yeah, the
Everyone's got
Flash
their
one.
opinions.
Yeah, it's. I would pick
Yeah,
one.
I think this
because-
is a good game, but like trying to do a run, well, when you run this game, it's very hard in the beginning to get 36,000. And especially when you get towards the top of the boards, it's like you have to reset a lot. So because of that, it kind of becomes less fun to play competitively. It is
Okay.
probably the best one to run though.
I was grinding it out for about 3 hours. I got onto maybe 2 runs, but reached that 37,000. It was probably the last time I probably tried grinding it.
Yeah, when I ran the game a lot, I used to have a counter on my stream that would count how many attempts I did and how many that made it past like the first running. And Glitch would attest this. There was a point where it was about like 66, 65 attempts with like 2 out of the baby area, which is the first part of the game.
It's counting when will it get to 100 attempts to stream?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
That was-
extreme training glitches.
We have hit the bongo controller.
Yay!
We got a $1 donation from 80saurus87 who says, Red Boys, Best Boys, shout out to D.Stan and Duck Life Pro 44's dog. Just the dog specifically.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a
we're
long
bongo
story.
controller.
That's a long story, probably not appropriate for this stream.
I-
Yeah, that's definitely not really a PG story.
The D.Stan story, though, is appropriate, though. That was a fun
yeah,
one.
that one we should get. D.Stan.
Yeah. So this was super early on in the community, like before the Discord was made or anything. The only active runners were like me, this other guy called Outrageous Josh, who runs Jack games. He's really good at them. Me, him, and then like Glitched and other and Eddie, I think, were like in the area.
There as well, yeah.
Yeah. And so this guy, correct me if I say something wrong, it's been a while since I've thought of this, but this guy posted on the forums on speedrun.com, which used to be the only way we could talk to each other. This was like 3 years ago. And he was asking about if you could use, what was it? Like Marcos on your mouse or whatever.
Macros.
Yeah.
Macros. He was talking about making a program that would basically just hit everything.
Like beat the game. And
So
it
he
turned
wanted
into
to
this,
make a tax, and it would be legal, basically.
Yeah,
which
and
he
he was
did.
basically using. He was using our
made a
rules
tax.
against us.
He actually made a
Specifically
video of him like doing the run. The run was like 11 minutes or something, which at the time beat the record by 2 minutes. And he did this crazy seed glitch where he like spammed the seed of his mouse with the Marco he used, which like glitched out the game and gave him infinite levels. And so he was trying to fight for that to be real, and it was just his whole debacle. But
It basically ended up with us having to very specifically word the rules. We had to go over a big thing with all the rules of all the Duck Life games and go,
yeah.
we can't have anything that says by any means necessary. We can't have any, no rules. We gotta sit down and.
Gotta be super specific. So Joe's now in the final area.
The duck doesn't look as weird as it did as a teenager, but that's just how life is, really.
It is actually a pretty, pretty accurate representation of life, dude.
Yeah,
You're
everyone
20
looks weird as a teenager.
And then when you grow into an adult, you finally get your arms back. And you look kind of.
Your 18th birthday, your parents come and go, alright, you've been good. Here you go.
Here's your arms.
Here are your arms back.
Can confirm I'm a teenager without arms.
That's why it's so hard to run these games.
Yeah, you gotta kind of use your feet and your elbows, but you can get around it.
Yeah, if I lose, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mostly the minigames now are just like combinations of the last two. At least flying and running kind of is. Except running is, you can also, you just tell by looking at it, it's a lot different. Camera zoom down, everything. It's not as hard, but it's a lot slower to get levels.
Isn't it like...
Hey, go ahead.
The dollar still stands for DK. Yes.
Yeah, so the dollar donation was glitch.
Yeah.
Secrets out.
Oh no. Just the image of all these like normal legged ducks, like all the other ducks have normal legs in the team stage, and then there's just your duck with these massive muscular legs just swimming right past them.
Swole
It's
duck.
like it's mid-20s guy going into like the under 12 swimming competition. Like, yeah, I got this.
He did not skip leg day.
Really close in the same minigame. The problem is that this minigame takes up a of all of the adult stage. At least it looks
No.
close.
No, it doesn't. Swimming does.
It's only like 3 minutes.
I mean, people blows the swimming one out.
Swimming is awful.
Like it. I'll be its
Well, you're awful then.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Alright, so this climbing is the best climbing in the entire game. Because you can hold up and actually move up the wall. Slightly higher than all the other mini games.
They've kept that innovation for right at the end for some reason. Till the very end.
Yeah.
It would have been so good to have in team, because team climbing is just the worst thing imaginable. So now
Yeah, the baby's the worst because there are some like segments that are designed to just kill your duck.
But team sort of has
Like when
that as
you're-
well with satellites.
True.
This game does not like them. It's basically what we're getting.
That was close.
Yeah, I just got up to the part you're talking about.
It didn't give me like any breathing room for it. Oh.
Animals. This is a marathon where you want to kill the ducks.
Joe's on a really, at least on my screen, he's on a really good climbing portion.
Well, Joe's
Yeah.
always been sort of good at climbing.
Joe's just good at this game in general. I'm surprised. I don't know why he doesn't have the record, honestly.
Because you grinded it so low and crushed my
You ruined it
I'd
for
like-
everyone, Jake.
I would get, like, I'd beat your time and you'd just post a new one. And it was just like, oh.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
Jack's
what.
pretty
Good
good.
times, dude.
No matter which version you did. Oh, hey, I got a Duck Life 1 glitched 20 minutes later. Yeah, well. I lost that, and I was
Not
fine.
anymore.
Yeah.
Got a band check, dude.
Up on 119 points?
Hey.
Sorry,
And I don't know if this was mentioned before because my audio checked out a bit, but in this in the climbing, did you mention how you don't need all the levels?
No.
Oh,
I did mention
Yes.
you can hold up, which is...
oh yeah. But just like in Duck Life 2, you don't need all the climbing levels because it's not particularly useful.
Yeah, I only go to 138 instead of...
Yeah, instead of 150.
This is fairly close to max, but it's not max.
And that's part of the reason why the strength duck, the other one that I was talking about earlier, which is theoretically faster, the reason why it's so much faster is because you only need like 115 climbing in that. So it saves time here, even if it loses it in running.
I almost 2-cycled climb. That would have been nice.
I will concede there is no way to speed up swimming really except to just not die.
Not do what I just did right there. Yeah, so the swimming you're fixed at 5 miles an hour, which is not fun. So, and I need to go to 150, being at 88 when I came into the minigame.
Mhm.
Each level is 125 points. Oh hey, my screen just died?
Oh,
Uh,
that was no.
Oh, it's
We
fine.
were back.
that was weird.
No, we're good.
my boy Joe's splicing.
Yeah. That was weird. I
Top-
just look
top
over
10
it and it's
spices in speedruns.
doing it during the marathon boys. People don't suspect.
It's pretty ballsy.
Ballsy, I'll give you that.
So I was 56 seconds behind pulling out a baby. Now I'm only 45 behind. So that running must have saved me a lot.
gotta ask casually, does anyone actually like this minigame apart from me? I feel like a lot of people hate this one.
I played like
hate
the
it.
helicopter game. It's based off of a
Yeah.
lot when I was in school.
Yeah, Copter was great, and I feel like everyone just hates this one.
I don't mind it,
Casually
but
or
it's just it's
speak on
not fast. Is the problem I have with it.
So apologies for not talking for a while. It turns out that if you press the shift key, which is what I have my push to talk set to, it will count as pressing spacebar or mouse button, and it will make your duck swim up. So every time I tried talking, I died.
That's good for us, but
Yeah. So apologize for really bad swim segment there, and for not talking at all.
well, that's
And
alright.
I
You don't have to
just
apologize
saved-
for letting us win. We'll take
Well, I
it.
just saved 40 seconds and that's swimming as well. I don't know how, but I'm only 9 seconds off of my PB.
Nice.
Flip
Nice.
side now. Go back.
Meanwhile, I'm like 2.5 minutes behind my PB.
Am I comparing average? No, I'm not. Okay.
I'm gonna set up stuff.
Yeah, make sure space is all set up.
Yeah, I gotta turn off mature audiences.
Love that the flying duck doesn't flap its wings when it flies. With gliding. And if Red win, then I will donate 25. I swear it keeps going up
Well,
every
now I
time I
might just
mention
throw.
it. It's oi. I'm like 10, and I was like, yep, that's right, 15. So yep, 20. Yep, 25.
I mean, I wouldn't mind you throwing.
Yeah. Oh god, what have I done?
I think world record has passed me at this point.
I'll donate 20, but if Blue win, I'll donate 25. There.
Cool, and I'm about to finish Adult and go to the final level. Now the boss in this game is completely different to the other Duck Lives for no reason. You turn into something with a thin, spiky hair, and my cursor is now a crosshair. I'm shooting domos.
It's I think it's a cover to like every 90s, early 2000s like punk ska band.
So
Crazy spike on that.
the finals level is pretty easy, but there is still a chance you can lose if you don't properly shoot the domos.
I shoot all of them, even though there's a lot that aren't required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always the one on the jetpack here that I almost... Cool, I'm done.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going. Stream should be up. I'm going.
That was a 32-46 for me, and I will leave
Wow.
you boys to it.
Good time.
That's
Dang.
pretty good. Alright.
Now we have the final game, which is space.
Can people see it on stream yet?
Yeah, they can.
Alright, cool. Alright, so Space is a little bit different. It's not a Flash game, first off. It's a Unity game. It also costs money, and it's actually made pretty well. So first off, you would notice that the mini games aren't the generic kind of things that you've been seeing. The games are very different. each one has its, and each world has its own special gimmick, each own gameplay, kind of thing. And if you guys want to talk about boosts, I'm kind of just going fast right now.
So you can, in the first world, you can get 20 running, flying, and what's the other one? Climbing? Swimming, right?
Oh,
It's swimming. But you only need 5 running, and that's it, because they implemented these things called boosts, which when you're in a race, you can hit the boost button for a short time, and it takes up a big chunk of your energy. But as much seed at the start as you can, use all the energy to 3 boosts. Meaning that you can just boost past everyone, and you don't have to worry about doing any level grinding whatsoever. So the first world takes literally 2 minutes.
yeah, because you only need to touch the running. You can skip all the other trainings. And you
If you
also
want to
notice
start
that.
running,
And you notice that you don't need to win every single race in the tourney. You need to win the majority of them. Like you'll see here, I'm going to get 3rd place, but I got 1st in the last 2, so I'll be fine. So I can just do a boost for fun.
this has sort of an invisible leaderboard, kind of like Mario Kart, where first gets X amount of points, then gets X amount of points. You just have to be first in that overall leaderboard. So if you come 2nd or 3rd once, get 1st in the other ones.
And in each game, we have written down the exact amount of points you need for each area. So like right here, I need 310 points to get enough levels, which would be 20. And like I said earlier, each minigame has its own unique way of playing. So like for this one, you need to either spam the space bar or the mouse to continue. And this one, you just click the rocks. That was close.
This one's great for streams because all you can hear is click, click.
Oh, I died there. I didn't. And then you only need 15 swimming here, but because I died, my number might be a little off.
Interesting way.
Right, that's fine.
And you
And
just
now-
wait until you're done
Yeah,
very close to
fly.
the blocks, and then click it once.
Now this flying minigame, I don't know if you guys can see it yet because of the screen delay, but this is the hardest part of the run.
Yeah, the
I'm
flying
alive.
game's pretty rough.
Oh,
It's,
the flying game.
It's a nice combination of luck. What I like to do is I like to line my mouse with the duck's head and see if I can just follow that. Usually you want to get around 240, 280 each round to end with 30. And on average you want to get like 3 cycles. Of course you want to get 1 or 2, but 3 cycles is normal.
Yeah.
I'm finally on
2
the
cycles
final race for 3. Hopefully I don't mess this up.
Alright, Piplup, just tell me when you're done so I can start.
Don't
Yep.
hit a domo.
So someone in this community has actually lost this race before.
Hey,
Someone.
Okay,
nobody
okay,
has
I'm
lost
done.
the race before.
Done. Eddie, you could start now. But yeah, Chegg may or may not have lost this race before, and it may or may not have been world record pace if I recall correctly.
It was.
Let's all sit here
Yeah.
for a second and laugh at Chegg's misfortune.
It was live. There's a clip of it somewhere. It was not my proudest moments. All right, so we're done with the mini games there. And I
You
didn't
have
explain
every
this
other one.
earlier. Yeah. In each area, before you can enter the tourney, you have to get the ticket to the tourney. So you got to race one of these dudes outside of it. And luckily, we've memorized which ones to do, so we aren't just going to waste time racing randos. Oops, get out.
The only reason you'd race the other ducks is basically for coins, if you want to buy things from the shop, but when you're speedrunning you don't need to buy anything, so they're pretty much useless.
Alright, and so in this tourney, I'm going to get 2nd or 3rd place, and then 1st place and 1st place. So I already did my one boost for the race. I don't need to do anything again. Because I don't have enough energy to do 2 boosts. And the boosts in general are pretty lenient. There are points later in the run, especially in the last area, where they are pretty specific. And usually there are places that you should boost that give a little bit more space and distance than other places. Like when you're about to run into a wall, boosting there really helps. Or when you're about to land on a ramp, boosting there gives you a lot of momentum.
Places to boost would be
There's also
when you're
a,
about to go into a jump.
There's a glitch actually with the boosts. If you boost just before you start flying, you can actually skip the flying animation and just fall straight down, and it kills runs usually.
Oh, I remember that.
And so now we're about to enter Mars with the best running minigame because it's super fast. You can get a lot of levels here. And in the route, we kind of take advantage of a little glitch. Level upgrade cap, or it's kind of like the level upgrade cap in Duck Life 2. In each area, you can only get to a certain amount of levels. So like in the moon, you can only get to level 40. In this area, you can only get to 60. But if you get enough points, if you're at like 55 and you get 1,000 points, they'll give you points and you can go above the level cap. So to make things easier for the boosts and faster, we like to just get a little bit above 60. So I'm going to be a little careful to make sure I get that.
I did find it interesting.
62. Yeah, that's fine.
Duck Life 2 had the level caps, and then they sort of left it out for 3 and 4, and then they decided to bring it back in.
Well, 3 kind of has the level caps because of the evolutions.
Yeah, no, you can say that.
But yeah, definitely in 4, they don't have that anymore.
Do we want to talk about the patch to this game?
Yeah, you can talk about that now. That's kind of important.
Okay, so, yeah, the PB for this game now is, under
29.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, under half an hour. Before the patch, there was a patch that they added to the game. The record was, I think, an hour and a half, or somewhere along those lines.
Oh, also, sorry to interrupt you for a second, but you should probably mention how shitty this minigame is.
Right, well, you can do that.
The climate.
Oh, right.
Sometimes
okay.
the duck just gets stuck and walks through the walls, which you might see, but like this, or you'll see in just a second.
Have to sort of get the trajectory right to launch yourself over to the next platform. This game is very buggy with this though, because sometimes you can walk through the ladders, fall straight down, but all of that can happen where you just sort of slowly slide to your death. But worse than that, you can soft lock. Basically, if you hit right and you land on the other ladder, you can basically make it so your duck gets stuck, and you can wait for the timer to go down, and it'll go 3, 2, 1, 0, and then it'll go -1, -2, -3, and it'll just count minus forever, and you're stuck there. You have
There's
to
no way to get out of it.
exit the game.
I think
It's
that
rough.
moon flying is worse, but to each his
Moon
own.
flying. Well, yeah, as a minigame to do well, it's harder. But as a minigame that was made, this one is worse.
It's
But
fundamental.
yeah, you can go back to the patch talk now. There's not really anything else happening.
Yeah, okay, so basically this game took a really long time to level up. Well, the reason we don't do Duck Life 4 is because it would have doubled the time of this relay, so everything up. Space was the same for the longest time, and then all of a sudden there was a patch, and the patch made it so that quadruple or quintuple your score at the end to boost up your levels 4 or 5 times what you would have gotten. which means that things that usually took like 5 or 10 minutes to grind now took like 20 seconds, which is why we can go through the first world in 1 minute, because one race and it's done. Usually that would have taken, you know, a lot of time, but for us, it was kind of a sweet and sour thing because, you know, everything was a lot faster now, but pretty much all the routes we'd worked on and all the times that we grinded were now for absolutely nothing, because anyone could come in and get a time that would beat those with the new patch. So
yeah, the patch in total saved about an hour. The record before the patch was about 134, and now the record's 29 minutes.
By the way, I think I just lost the moon tournament.
Oof.
I got second on the first race.
So best pre-patch was 2.5 hours for Joe. Oof, wow.
Yeah, I remember my first run pre-patch was an hour 47. Then my first run for this was like 39 minutes, I want to say.
But I mean, Joe was grinding that 2:30 time. He loved this game. Then he was couldn't pull him away from it. Yeah.
I'm sure he's very happy we're saying that. All right, so right now I'm in a mini game that's very interesting, to say the least. The swimming mini game in Terra. Until recently, there was this glitch that we really didn't understand, and we still don't, but we kind of have a better idea on it. So if you get a certain amount of points and then die on a certain type of like flooring, you get 10 extra levels, which saves about 30 to 40 seconds. And it's not, we don't really know why. But I'm gonna see if I can go for, you wanna go for like a ramp? Yeah, I got 55. Okay, so I didn't get it. I would have gotten 60 or 70.
The fun thing is I never thought you could survive, go to the top and you died. If you moved, you died as well. I didn't know you could actually get out of it and properly do the level.
Oh, yeah, at the start. Yeah, that's another funny thing that we found, is that if you just tap up a couple times and let your duck hit the ground, he will kind of just chill there at the bottom.
It goes really slow, but the score stays at a consistent rate, so the score will keep going up crazy fast, and you'll just sort of slowly slide along the sea floor.
Mm-hmm. All right. And this minigame is kind of weird. You can control it with your spacebar and mouse, but if you dare touch it with your mouse, the spacebar stops working, and this happens. You'll see it in just a second. But like you can see the animation of the duck moving, but it doesn't move. So if you click it with your mouse, you're kind of just stuck there. But it's okay. So we're gonna get about 1,300 here in this climbing minigame. I got good RNG.
This is actually one of my favorite minigames from space, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's not too hard. It's pretty good. Now the jumping one that I'm in right now is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's another kind of trajectory kind of level. And you want to get about 1,700 points here, which I'm gonna do pretty soon. And the minigame after this, I'm probably gonna go quiet for, because it's well, Glitch will explain it.
Yeah.
Alright, good.
The effect comes in real early in the jumping one, but doesn't actually change at all. So it's pretty much moot.
Alright, I just entered the Mars climbing. Let's hope I don't fall.
Okay, so the to Duck Life was intelligence, and basically the minigame for it is keys as fast as possible. This was really annoying on the mobile version though. This game came out on mobile before it came out on Steam, and it was on mobile only for the longest time. You see how the arrows are actually on screen here? You actually had to touch them in the right order, And if you're emulating it, going from arrow to arrow with your mouse was a nightmare. So when it came to steam, much nicer. Yeah, it really takes a lot of concentration. For this.
Yeah. Especially when you're a little nervous and it's easy to think ahead and click the wrong key. But
Usually do it
luckily,
in
this
like
is...
sets of 3. And then
Mhm.
stop.
Yeah, and also, luckily, this is the only intelligence game we do. So we
We
get
don't have to do
80,
the second one.
we get 80 levels here, and then we just live with that.
To make one of the bosses kind of difficult, but
Yeah, we'll get there. Alright. Okay. So that wasn't too great, that intelligence, but it's fine. We'll roll with it.
have to can't exactly reset.
Now at this point, not this guy, the guy I'm racing right now, but at this point of the run, the races do get a lot tighter with where you can boost, because the races get longer and the bad guys get better, obviously. So you really want to take advantage of boosting into walls and up ramps and stuff. Oh, I already have. And usually the minimum amount of energy you get is like 111. I'm just going to grab an extra one just for safety. Donald Stars. That's my team name.
Egg using a timer.
I'm not using a timer now. I might retime this afterwards, I don't know. It'll probably be like a, I don't know.
I'm tempted to retime mine.
I'm sure yours is actually pretty good.
I honestly feel like it's close to PB, but I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
It'll end up being like a 2050 or something.
I think we've been having pretty good runs this relay. Like Joe got really close to his PB.
It's been surprisingly good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just entered the wrong minigame. I flashed back to the days where used to do Terra running.
Yeah, those Terra running minigames were lame.
Like I said, surprisingly good so far.
Mm-hmm. I got good RNG there, so I still got 2 first places. So now at this race, I don't really need to care about what I get. And if you saw, in these Terra races, after you jump, the best place to boost is right before you land in the water, so you get air time to land in the water just barely further ahead.
And these
Yeah.
costumes are very interesting.
They're a little, a little silly.
I do like, there's one costume where we can buy a Lego hat and a Lego body and just be a big
Yeah, a big Lego block.
unlicensed building toy brick.
Alright, now we enter Freeze, which is, not the best area in the game. The minigames are kind of slow. Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah, there aren't many fans of it.
Days, I will route this out. Running. And I will be
Rat out the entirety of Freeze. Which actually reminds me of something we should talk about. So when this game first came out, and we were streaming it, and this was before the patch and everything, we technically found a Freeze skip, like skipping the entire last area. What happened was, on one of my live streams, there's a clip of it somewhere, the game glitched out for reasons we have no idea why, and it broke the duck I was racing, so I was racing like the key holder to enter the turning, and the game like glitched out the duck, and it sent me to the cutscene that you're going to see after Freeze, where the duck, no spoilers, but the duck says, oh, you can enter the final area. Oh no. And so imagine it was right after the very first area, instantly in the last area of the game, and we don't know why it happened, and we cannot replicate it.
Yeah, we've never gotten it to happen again.
I've even
Also, that insane luck just got.
oh, in the yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even tried to replicate it exactly with the same amount of levels I got, because this was early routing, so we used to do the other mini games in the first area. It's like I got the exact same amount of swimming levels, flying or whatever, the same max like seeds and everything, but I could never replicate it. And we started no
Should we
idea
point
how
out what
to
you're
do it.
doing here in the swimming, by the way?
Oh yeah, you can go out of bounds and dodge the sharks, and they kind of just glitch out. Although
Yeah, the sharks AI are programmed to follow you no matter where you are.
Although sometimes, if you flick the duck far enough.
Yeah. So, spawn in to go in a straight line at your last location. The game doesn't know where you are because you're not in the game. So the sharks get confused and they just sort of stand there awkwardly and they don't really know what to do.
And I've
it
noticed,
gets really weird.
I noticed that post-patch, at least for me, the glitch did get a little bit harder to do. And like you saw, I wasn't really doing it that much. But
Easier
there
for me,
are,
ironically.
yeah, which is really weird. Glitch was having a lot of trouble doing it before the patch. So I don't know what the deal is there. But I'm sure when Eddie gets there, he'll do it.
Sometimes the sharks
It's
just
really-
ended up spawning stationary, just on their backs, just like dead sharks, just sort of
Something they should
floating
never
there,
do.
and then they would just peaceful.
And so now in this flying minigame, it's probably the worst one of Freeze. Not much is going on. You just kind of survive.
After the running, instead after running again, this is the worst.
Yeah, those two are probably, at least in Freeze, the worst ones. So I want to get about 3,800 points here. I'm getting about 3 cycles, pretty average, pretty good. Because there will be times like the rocks with the crystals out of them, you can't break. So if you get stuck there, you're done.
I want to point out that I think at one point the duck wasn't supposed to have a spaceship and was supposed to just shoot bullets out of its bill. And I think this because this minigame, it's like a beta shot of just the duck flying without a ship, just shooting bullets.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how you left that in there. Alright, 83 is perfect. Alright, climbing. This is like the shortest minigame. You're only in here for like 30 seconds.
Flying, I thought, oh god, that's definitely not the shortest.
No. Come on, get one more level.
Every time I do this this climbing game, I want to do that thing in Yoshi's Story where you swing left and right to try and make it swing further and further, like you do in the World 6 castle.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Just-
unfortunately, just... And this jumping minigame you're probably about to see me get into, it's a bit of a problem. It's an easy minigame, but there's a glitch where if you die from the screen, like if the game goes too high or something, and you're low on the ground and you die, the game will take away 10 levels from you, and you lose an insane amount of time. So I'm going to try my hardest not to do that.
And somehow this is still better than when they did it in 4, because in this one, just for how long you survive, but in 4, your score went up only on how high you climbed. So you'd sit there waiting for all these blocks to fall, just waiting to go up 1 or 2, and then you would die and you'd get like 2 points.
Yeah, so luckily, spoilers in case the stream's not there yet, I didn't get the glitch, so we're fine. Hopefully for the rest of the run.
Just get there.
Yeah. Alright, I got enough levels. Alright. Okay. Now we're ready for the tourney.
To point
And
out
so,
real quick. Oh, go on.
No, I was just gonna say this tourney's like the other ones where it's a lot more boost tight, but generally not that hard. But go on.
Well, I was gonna say something until I saw that.
Oh, do you like my
Amazing
time
team
waste there?
I was gonna say though, the game does expect you to train 3 different ducks to use, which is why we're putting. But you can just put in 3 of the same duck.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you putting?
Yeah, and you
the same
mentioned
duck
that in your Let's Play video that you made of this game. That I didn't even know this was a thing, but it sounds about right when you mentioned it. And I think that's where
Yeah.
you're gonna go on if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, basically, I know this is 100% fact in Duck Life 4, but I don't know about Space as much. But if you only choose one duck to do over and over again, they use energy each time. And incentivize you to choose 3 different ducks by basically tiring your one duck out. Have less energy every time, which means for Space, probably 1 less boost by the 3rd race, so...
Mm-hmm. But luckily we can manage with just one duck. Otherwise the run would be a lot longer. No one would really run the run.
Superpower the energy level, and to the point where it doesn't matter that he's running out of energy because we just got so much to spare.
That's true, yeah. Of course, energy after a while takes a while to grind, as some people who did a max percent run would know of this game. Because the game doesn't give you enough coins to max out your energy, so you have to race the same duck over and over again to get enough coins to max out, which takes about 4 hours. And so this race I'm in right now is against the technically the final boss, but he's pretty easy. But if you were to lose to this guy, then holy moly, that's awful. Because you would have to redo the entire freeze tourney.
Shoutouts in the chat to the real max skills run of this, which I don't think we're gonna do.
Alright, and so these 3 guys these are like the dudes. They each hold a key that you need to get to enter the final race. And they
I
all
just want
have...
to quickly point out,
Go ahead.
Glitch on the red team is actually showing off just the sharks standing there not really knowing what to do and just continuously spawning on the screen.
Oh good, he's doing that.
Yeah. So you guys can see how that's done. Anyway, go on, sorry.
I was gonna say, these ducks are the hardest ones of the race. Pre-patch, they were even harder. Now they're a little bit easier post-patch, particularly the last guy we race. But yeah, you gotta be very careful with your boosts to just barely manage to win.
This world, each of these ducks cheats. They have one skill that's above 150, above the max that you can get, or is 100, whatever. So for this one, it's swimming. For the other one, it was the jumping or the running?
I think it was climbing.
Climbing, yes. And the 3rd one is its intelligence.
Yep. And the 3rd one's the scariest one, because the last boost you do, especially before the patch, was nearly pixel perfect. It's a lot more lenient now.
Yeah.
But pre-patch, we actually had to buffer it to make it easier sometimes. Let's see, it's boost right there. Alright, I'm gonna enter the final dude. So time will end once you hit the crown at the end of this. In this minigame, this final boss is actually like a kind of the next step from the Domo thing, where it's more interactive. You can actually control the duck. And if you saw there, I can actually do a moonwalk, which is the only fun part of this race. Didn't do the moonwalk.
You can moonwalk, so there's that too.
And to moonwalk, you just hold down one direction and you tap the other direction for like half a second.
Oh yeah, also, Shag, if you want to talk about the one time that you named your duck DDoS Dan.
Was that during the wrong warp?
Yeah, the wrong one.
Yeah, I went over the wrong warp. I forgot that I named it DDoS stand, dude. Yeah, this makes it even more perfect.
Makes
Alright, so this is the hardest part. This little, or you'll see in just a second, where you gotta dodge the rocks and these lava meters. In the last like month, I've lost about maybe 4 world record pace runs just from this little hallway because I'm really bad at it. But I'm just gonna take it super safe. Alright, and time is about to end pretty soon. Alright, I just finished, so I don't know when the stream's gonna finish.
Alright, I'll be another like. You might want to continue on the next run. I'll be another like
The runs are
7
done.
minutes.
Blue.
Red team's still best team, by the way.
Blue wins.
Sure.
Wow. Nice.
Nice.
Beat our estimate by 12 minutes.
Yeah, way behind the estimate.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Red team best team.
Yeah, Team Blue Boys, you got this.
Red team's
I'll
still
play
best
the-
team though.
Yeah,
Either way.
maybe. So I'll just show off a few things while Eddie's finishing up over there.
Oh, am I gonna finish the run?
I mean,
We might as well.
yeah.
Alright.
I have a couple things we
So
need
you
to show off
can-
anyway.
Yeah. So I'll customize a bit. I'll buy little crown or whatnot. This is the store you can buy different ducks. You can name them. You know. And there's also this little mini game you can do.
Oh
Which
yeah, the
I've
minigame
never,
that none of us ever
yeah,
do.
nobody ever plays. It's just this cutesy little, I don't know, like kind of, it just follows your mouse and shoots things. Woo, exciting.
Ooh,
Yeah, and the
run
game, like,
itself, but we just never do it.
yeah, the game, it's really weird. The game slows to like a grinding halt when you don't have your mouse clicked. So yeah, this was the Duck Life series.
Well, 3/4 of it really.
Yeah.
3/4.
I think it was
Duck Life
mentioned
4
before.
is over an hour.
Yeah, I think it was mentioned before why we didn't do Duck Life 4. It was mostly because it's excruciatingly slow, especially at the beginning. And it just isn't fit for a relay. It's an okay speed game past the first 30 minutes.
Use okay
First
lightly
half
there.
hour of
but-
Yeah, some people have stronger opinions than others.
And Treasure Hunt is.
Yeah, we
Treasure
don't
Hunt.
talk about treasure hunts.
Oh,
We don't
right.
talk about Treasure Hunt.
Faceless is extremely disappointed.
Yeah,
and
that's
then there's Battle, which came out like
2 weeks ago. Or
2 weeks ago. We don't have any proper.
If we hit $1,000 donation total, we'll do a treasure hunt tournament.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, maybe.
I promise
Yeah.
Faceless that.
How's your run looking right now, Eddie?
Just finishing up the freeze tournament.
Okay,
It's pretty close.
just about a minute left or so.
The red team fell a bit behind, but
Yeah. Alright.
I mean, red team makes some pretty good strombolis, honestly.
That's all they can do, dude.
Pretty strong. Some pretty strong. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
we got the skills and they got the strombolis. It's okay. But no, I think
They can
overall,
keep.
yeah,
I mean,
I
you're
think
all,
overall everyone did pretty well.
you're all extremely old, so and give us 10 years and we'll be destroying you all.
Yeah, once you guys get
Yeah.
Casually patronizing myself.
Alright.
Actually seen of this little battle mini game. I've never made it this far.
This is the furthest I've ever made it, actually. I'm gonna get the world record in the space minigame.
We
Not
should have a
actually.
miscellaneous category for that.
just for this.
That was something we thought of as soon as the patch came out. Because the patch didn't just make the levels a lot shorter, it also introduced this minigame, and we just never talked about it.
Yeah.
That was the same
But-
time this came out.
Mhm. Alright, I just died, and I got the final score of 0. I like it.
I see that.
Yeah,
That's probably a new record.
probably.
I
I just
just like
connect
to
to Facebook.
say that Chegg has almost every single world record in any Duck Life game.
I'm okay at the series.
Yeah, not too good, but you hold your own.
I'm okay. I don't know. All these guys who did the races are pretty good. And a lot of them too have been in the series for a long time. Particularly Glitched and Eddie, myself. Like Glitched and Eddie were the ones who created the leaderboards.
Yeah.
So major props goes to those guys.
He
and-
created it, I just came in very early.
yeah. But they
You and
definitely had a
Josh,
huge-
you
Oh,
threw
yeah,
the world
outrageous
record back
Josh.
and forth a couple times.
Yeah, the
Then
early
Chegg
early
Josh
Duck
and I
Life.
were-
and checked you both.
Yeah.
Josh and I
Chegg is
were
now
just
up, by the way.
swapping these, and then Chegg came along and went, yeah, nah, screw this. And then just kept it.
Yeah, man, we've been pretty strong. The best thing about the Duck Life community is that there can be weeks where nobody really says anything or whatever. Nothing's much going on, but it can pick up in like a second. It can go from no one really talking to immediately there's huge community action.
As soon as
Yeah.
someone does like a run or something is found, activity again.
Mhm.
I think once we didn't talk for like 3 or so months, then Chegg started doing streams again, and then that totally revived the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All it
Just one
takes is really
Chegg
one
streams is
person.
all it takes.
Yeah. How's the run going, Eddie?
Just entered final race,
All right. Are you gonna do the moonwalk?
of course.
Hell yeah.
Turn this off with a moonwalk.
Oh, also a thing to mention, after you beat the champion, you can go in any of the mini games and play them again to get like a, I don't know, a high score or whatever. But it
Exactly,
also
levels too.
increases how many levels you get exponentially. Like right now I'm at 80.
250.
It's like 255 or something. I think 250. I'm only having about like 600 points in this intelligence minigame. But it's gonna blast me up to from 81 to 156 levels.
Yeah, 255.
Yeah. Alright.
So I'm almost done with the final race. So I would just like to shout out Outrageous Josh and Ballet Dancer Gabe.
And Leary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Larry.
Can't
Yeah, all
forget
three
him.
of them are very good and we're in their prime, we're very good runners who contributed a lot.
Alright, I just finished 34:47. Terrible time, but
No, not last. I think you beat Joe.
yeah. Beat Joe.